हेलो साथीहरु वेलकम टु लोकसेवा। आज फेरि पनि हामीहरु हजुरहरुको माझमा आइसकेको छु अर्को भिडियो लिएर र आजको भिडियो भनेको कमन इन्ट्रान्स एक्जामिनेसनको फिजिक्स क्वेशन पेपरलाई सल्भ गरेर विथ एक्सप्लेनेसन हामीहरुले तपाईहरुको माझमा लिएर आइसकेको छौं। सो यदि तपाईहरुलाई केही डाउट छ अथवा केही कन्फ्युजन पर्यो बीचमा भने तपाईहरुलाई हामीले कमेन्ट मार्फत अथवा हाम्रो WhatsApp र टेलिग्रामको लिंक राखिदिएको छु डिस्क्रिप्सन बक्समा। त्यसको थ्रु हाम्रो WhatsApp अथवा टेलिग्राम लिंक जोइन भएर तपाईहरुले त्यहाँ पनि पोस्ट गर्न सक्नुहुन्छ। सो हस्त भिडियो सुरु गरौँ र भिडियो सुरु गर्नुभन्दा अगाडि यदि तपाईहरुले च्यानललाई सब्स्क्राइब गर्नु भएको छैन भने सब्स्क्राइब गर्न नबिर्सनु होला। साथसाथै यो भिडियोलाई शेयर गर्न र लाइक गर्न नबिर्सनु होला। सो हस्त भिडियो सुरु गरौँ। र सबैभन्दा पहिला क्वेशन रहेको छ वेव अफ स्पाइडर साइन्स ड्यू टु, यसको आन्सर रहेको छ डिफ्र्याक्सन। अब यसको एक्सप्लेनेसन हेर्नुस्। A wave of a spider shines due to diffraction. When light from the surroundings, such as sunlight or artificial lights, interact with the silk thread of a spider's web, it undergoes diffraction. Diffraction is the bending or spreading of light waves as they encounter obstacle or opening in their path. In the case of a spider's web, the fine silk threads act as an obstacle, causing the incoming light to diffract or scatter in various directions. This scattering of light creates the shimmering or iridescent appearance of the spider's web, giving it its characteristic sign. So, यसको आन्सर आएको छ diffraction. Question number 2 रहेको छ हामीसँग. Find the equivalent resistance between A and C where each resistance value is 1 ohm. अब यसको आन्सर रहेको छ कति हुन्छ तपाईलाई 3/4 ओम कसरी आयो भन्दाखेरि तपाईले स्क्रिनमा हेर्न सक्नुहुन्छ सोलुसन। Since the circuit is in parallel, so 1/R equivalent is equal to 1/2R plus 1/2R plus 1/3R. So यो म्याथमेटिकली तपाईले सल्भ गर्नुभयो भने तपाईको आन्सर आउँछ 3/4R. Question number 3. The external and internal diameter of a hollow cylinder are measured to be 4.23 plus minus 0.01 centimeter and 3.89 plus minus 0.01 centimeter respectively. The thickness of cylinder is, यसको आन्सर रहेको छ 0.17 plus minus 0.01 centimeter. अब कसरी आयो भन्दाखेरि एक्सटर्नल डायमिटर तपाईलाई स्क्रिनमा दिएको छ, that is 4.23 plus minus 0.01 centimeter. सो यसको रेडियस निकाल्ने हो भने तपाईलाई डायमिटर बाइ 2 हुन्छ. सो यसको आन्सर आउँछ तपाईलाई 2.12 plus minus 0.005 centimeter. Internal diameter तपाईलाई दिएको छ 3.89 plus minus 0.01. Similarly यसको internal radius निकाल्ने हो भने 1.95 plus minus 0.005 centimeter रहेको छ. Thickness of wall is equal to external radius minus internal radius. So तपाईले म्याथमेटिकल सल्भ गर्नुभयो भने यसको आन्सर आउँछ 0.17 plus minus 0.01 centimeter. Question number 4. The dimension of angular momentum is, यसको आन्सर रहेको छ mL2t minus 1. अब कसरी आयो भन्दाखेरि the dimension of the angular momentum is given by the product of mass, length and velocity, which results in the dimensions of mL2t minus 1. Therefore the correct answer is B, that is mL2t minus 1. Question number 5. The escape velocity on earth for the satellite launched vertically is 11 km per second. If the satellite is launched at 45 degrees, escape velocity will be, यसको आन्सर रहेको छ 11 km per second. अब कसरी आयो भन्दाखेरि the escape velocity on earth for a satellite launched vertically is 11 km per second. If the satellite is launched at an angle of 45 degree with vertical, the escape velocity will be the same as when launched vertically, which is 11 km per second. Therefore the option A is right answer, which is 11 km per second. Question number 6. The magnetic field at the center is, यसको आन्सर रहेको छ 3 mu naught I upon 8R. अब कसरी आयो भन्दाखेरि at point O, that is center, magnetic field due to the rod AB is equal to BAB, that is BAB is equal to 0. Magnetic field at O due to arc BCD is equal to 3 mu naught X upon 8R. So mathematically तपाईलाई सल्भ गर्दै जाँदाखेरि तपाईको आन्सर आउँछ 3 mu naught I upon 8R. Frequency is equal to 50 Hz. E is equal to 200 volt in LCR circuit. The value of E is more than 220 at which point? So the answer आएको छ inductor or capacitance according to value of C or L. Explanation हेर्ने हो भने in an LCR, that is inductor, capacitor and resistor circuit driven by a 50 Hz AC voltage source with E is equal to 200 volt. D. Inductor or capacitance according to values of C or L. The value of E, that is voltage, can be more than 220 volt at either the inductor or the capacitor depending on the specific values of the inductance L and capacitance C in the circuit. So, if the inductance is relatively high and or the capacitance is relatively low, the voltage across the inductor can exceed 220 volt due to the phase relationship between current and voltage in an inductor. Second, conversely, if the capacitor C is relatively high and or the inductance L is relatively low, the voltage across the capacitor can exceed 220 volt due to the phase relationship between current and voltage in a capacitor. So the correct answer is D, that is inductor or capacitance according to the value of C or L, because it depends on the specific characteristics of the component in the LCR circuit. Question number 8. Characteristics of hard X-ray is, इसको आन्सर आएको छ low wavelength. कसरी low wavelength हुन्छ भन्दाखेरि hard X-ray have short wavelength which corresponds to high energy and high frequency electromagnetic radiation. They have the ability to penetrate materials more efficiently than soft X-rays due to their higher energy. So the answer is low wavelength. Question number 9. Which of the following favors the existence of substance in the solid state? यसको आन्सर आएको छ लो टेम्परेचर. अब कसरी लो टेम्परेचर हुन्छ भन्दाखेरि at low temperature substance exists in solid state due to decrease in molecular motion which leads to a strong cohesive force, that is force which holds the constituent particle together. So the answer is low temperature. Question number 10. Which of the following determines saturation point for maximum photoelectric current? यसको आन्सर आएको छ intensity. अब कसरी आयो भन्दाखेरि the saturation point for maximum photoelectric current is determined by the intensity, brightness of the incident light. At low intensities, the photoelectric current increases with intensity as more photons hit the material surface, causing more electrons to be emitted. However, once the intensity becomes sufficiently high, the photoelectric reaches a saturation point where further increases in intensity won't lead to more electrons being emitted. As all available electrons have already been emitted, the energy of each photon is determined by its frequency and is related to its wavelength. But the intensity is what affects the number of photons hitting the material surface. So the answer is intensity. Question number 11. What is the percentage of dark matter in the universe? इसका आंसर है 85%. According to the multiple sources including NASA, Wikipedia and Science Tech Daily, dark matter is emitted to make up approximately 85% of all the matter in the universe. This means that only 15% of all the matter is normal matter. Additionally, dark matter makes up roughly 27% of all the mass energy in the cosmos, accounting for dark energy. So the answer is 85%. Question number 12. Quarks for anti-Newton. यसको आन्सर आएको छ U complement D complement D complement. अब कसरी आयो भन्दाखेरि first we need to know the dark complement for an anti-neutron. We know that anti-neutron is the antiparticles of a neutron. Structure of neutron is UDD, that is up, down, down. Therefore, the structure of the anti-neutron would be the antiparticles of these quarks, which are U complement, D complement, D complement, that is anti-U up, anti-up, anti-down, anti-down. So the correct answer is part C, that is anti-up, anti-down, anti-down. Question number 13. A wire of 50 cm long, 1 mm square in the cross-sectional carries a current of 4 ampere. When connected to a 2 volt battery, the resistivity of wire is, यसको आन्सर रहेको छ 1 into 10 raised minus 6 ohm meter. अब कसरी आयो भन्दाखेरि by Ohm's law, resistance can be formed from current and voltage as below. V equals to IR, so R is equal to V by R. So mathematical तपाईको आन्सर आउँछ R is equal to half ohm. The resistance R is dependent on resistivity length and cross-sectional as below. So R is equal to delta 1 upon a. So mathematically solve गर्दै जाँदा resistivity of the wire is 10 raised minus 6 ohm meter. Question number 14. If ET nodes for electric field present between two plates of a capacitor having length d and area a, then energy stored in a capacitor is, यसको आन्सर आएको छ half epsilon naught E square AD. कसरी आयो भन्दाखेरि the capacitance is defined as the product of permittivity of free space and the area is divided by separation between. Step 1. Finding total energy. Total energy is equal to half CV square is equal to energy density into volumes, where C is equal to epsilon naught A upon D. So mathematically solve गर्दै जाँदा तपाईको आन्सर आउँछ half epsilon naught E square AD. Question number 15. The coefficient of viscosity for hot air is, यसको आन्सर आएको छ greater than the coefficient of viscosity for cold air. अब कसरी आयो भन्दाखेरि the coefficient of viscosity for hot air is generally greater than the coefficient of viscosity for cold air. When air is heated, its molecules gain kinetic energy and move more rapidly, leading to the increase in collision between the molecules. This increased molecular activity tends to result in the higher viscosity for hot air compared to cold air. So the answer is greater than the coefficient of viscosity for cold air. Question number 16. Two blocks each of mass m are resting on a frictionless inclined plane as shown in the figure. Then यसको आन्सर आएको छ the block A moves down the plane. अब कसरी आयो भन्दाखेरि तपाईले हेर्न सक्नुहुन्छ 60 डिग्री ले एंगल गरेर छ भने mg sin 60 mg cos 60 र mg तल आउँछ. Similarly mg cos sin 45 mg cos 45 mg below. Since mg sin 60 is greater than mg sin 45, so it will move downwards. A block downward component is greater than the block B downward components. So option A is correct answer, that is the block A moves down the plane. Question number 17. Red color of a sky during sunrises and sunset is due to, यसको आन्सर रहेको छ scattering of light. यसको एक्सप्लेनेसन हेर्ने हो भने कसरी हुन्छ भन्दाखेरि the red color of the sky during sunrise and sunset preliminary due to the scattering of light. This phenomena is known as Rayleigh's scattering. During these times of the day, the sunlight has to pass through a large portion of the Earth's atmosphere, especially when it's closer to the horizon. The Earth's atmosphere contains various particles and molecules that can scatter light. The shorter wavelength of light, such as blue and green, are scattered more strongly by these particles, causing them to be scattered in various directions and making the sky appear blue or sometimes green during the day. However, during sunrise and sunset, the sunlight has to pass through a thicker layer of the atmosphere, which scatters away most of the blue and green light to their shorter wavelength. The longer the wavelength, particularly red and orange, are less affected by scattering and are more likely to reach our eyes. This is why the sky appears reddish during these times. So when refraction, dispersion and diffraction play roles in various optical phenomena, the red color of the sky during sunrise and sunset is mainly due to the scattering of light as described above. So the answer is scattering of light. Question number 18. Acceleration due to gravity at Earth's surface is g. At what height from Earth's surface g is reduced by 4 times? यसको आन्सर रहेको छ r. कसरी आयो भन्दाखेरि g dash is equal to gm upon r plus h4 square. We know that g is equal to gm upon r square. Since the height is increasing, so we have added height to its constituent. So mathematically तपाईले यसलाई solve गर्दै जाँदा तपाईको आन्सर आउँछ h is equal to r. So the answer is r. Question number 19. Potential barrier in PN diode is due to, यसको आन्सर रहेको छ diffusion of charge carriage. Explanation कुरा गर्ने भने the potential barrier in a PN diode is due to the fixed acceptor and donor ions on either side of the junction. When an N-type material is joined to a P-type material, a PN junction is formed and a semiconductor diode is produced. The potential barrier in the PN junction is a type of barrier that does not allow the normal phenomena of charge across the junction, and this resistance to the flow of charge is known as barrier potential. The potential barrier is established due to the diffusion of electrons and holes, and this potential barrier normally does not allow charging flow through the junction. The immobile ions, negative acceptor ion and positive donor ion, are concentrated between the NP region and creates the electric field, which set up a potential barrier in the junction that opposes the further diffusion. So the answer is diffusion of the charged carriage. Question number 20. In a glass having liquid whose cohesive force is greater than adhesive force, the meniscus formed is यसको आन्सर आएको छ convex. अब कसरी आउँछ भन्दाखेरि when the cohesive force within a liquid is greater than the adhesive force between the liquid and the glass, the meniscus formed is convex. This means that the liquid surface curves upward in the center and downward at the edge where it contains the glass. The cohesive forces within the liquid cause its molecule to attract each other more strongly than they are attracted to the molecule of the glass. As a result, the liquid tends to minimize its contact with the glass surface, leading to a convex meniscus. This behavior is commonly observed with certain liquids such as mercury, for instance, when they are in contact with the glass. So the answer is convex. Question number 21. Proton is 1836, that is 1836 times heavier than electron. If the proton is accelerated through 1 volt, then its kinetic energy is यसको आन्सर रहेको छ 1 electron volt. अब कसरी आयो भन्दाखेरि when a proton is accelerated through 1 volt, its kinetic energy is 1 electron volt. Therefore, the answer to the given question is B, that is 1 electron volt. Question number 22. A thread subtended between two ends has harmonic in ratio. इसको आन्सर रहेको छ 1:2:3. अब कसरी आयो भन्दाखेरि in the context of harmonics of vibrating threads or string, the correct harmonic ratios are typically as follows. The fundamental frequency first harmonic has a ratio of 1:1. The second harmonic has a ratio of 1:2 with respect to the fundamental frequency. The third harmonic has a ratio of 1:3 with respect to the fundamental frequency. So combining all three, therefore the correct answer is B, that is 1:2:3, which correctly describes the harmonic ratios of a vibrating threads. So the answer is 1:2:3. Question number 23. If n is the number of capacitors were connected in series, first then in parallel, the ratio of maximum to minimum capacitance is यसको आन्सर रहेको छ n square. अब कसरी आयो भन्दाखेरि when connected in series, 1/CS is equal to 1/C1 plus 1/C2 till 1/Cn. When connected in parallel, Cp is equal to C1 plus C2 plus C3 till Cn, which is equal to Nc, and series ma C upon N. So mathematically we know that C max C upon C min is equal to N square. Question number 24. At 300 Kelvin, radiated energy is proportional to यसको आन्सर रहेको छ 300 to the power 4. अब कसरी आयो भन्दाखेरि at 300 Kelvin, radiated energy is also known as black body radiation is proportional to 300 to the power 4. This relationship is described by Stephen Boltzmann law, which states that the total radiated power per unit area of a black body is proportional to the fourth power of its absolute temperature. So the answer is 300 to the power 4. Question number 25. The intensity level due to waves of same frequency in a given medium are 1 bell and 5 bell. Ratio of their amplitude is यसको आन्सर रहेको छ 1:10 to the power 2. कसरी आयो भन्दाखेरि loudness, that is L2 minus L1 is equal to log of I2 minus I2 upon I1. So 5 minus 1 is equal to log of A2 square upon A1 square. That is because I is directly proportional to A square. So mathematically तपाईले solve गर्नुभयो भने यसको आन्सर आउँछ 1:10 to the power 2. Question number 26. A source is moving towards observer and the apparent frequency heard by observer is half the original frequency. What is the velocity of source if velocity of sound is v? यसको आन्सर रहेको छ v. कसरी आयो भन्दाखेरि the apparent frequency heard by an observer when a source is moving towards them is given by Doppler effect formula, that is f dash is equal to f into v plus v0 v plus v0 upon v minus vs. In this scenario, the apparent frequency heard by the observer is half the original frequency. So f dash is equal to f by 2. The observer is stationary, so v0 is equal to 0. When we need to find the speed of the source vs, given informations and Doppler effect formula, f upon 2 is equal to f into v0 v plus 0 upon v minus vs. So we can simplify the equation. इज इक्वल टू v प्लस 0 अपन v माइनस bs. सो म्याथमेटिकली तपाईले सल्भ गर्दै जानुस्, यसको आन्सर आउँछ तपाईलाई v. क्वेशन नम्बर 27. हाउ मेनी मिनिमम डायोड्स आर निडेड फर फुल वेव रेक्टिफायर? यसको आन्सर आएको छ 2. कसरी आयो भन्दाखेरि एक्सप्लेनेसन. A full wave rectifier can be implemented using two diodes. The most common configuration for a full wave rectifier is the bridge rectifier or full wave bridge rectifier, which uses four diodes arranged in a bridge configuration. This arrangement allows it to convert both the positive and the negative halves of the input AC voltage into the continuous DC output. So the answer is 2. Two diodes are the minimum number required for full wave rectifier to function properly and convert AC input into DC output. So the answer is 2. Question number 28. If mu is equal to 1.5, power is equal to 4 diopter, convex lens, radius of curvature is, यसको आन्सर रहेको छ 25 cm. कसरी आयो भन्दाखेरि 1 upon f is equal to mu minus 1 upon r1 plus 1 upon r2. So mathematically p is equal to 1 upon f is equal to 4 as r1 is equal to r2. So mathematically तपाईको आन्सर आउँछ 1 upon 4 which is equal to 25 cm. Question number 29. In photoelectric effect, the slope of a straight line graph between stopping potential and frequency of incident light gives, यसको आन्सर आएको छ ratio of Planck constant and charge of electron. कसरी आयो भन्दाखेरि in the photoelectric effect, the slope of the straight line graph between stopping potential and frequency of incident light gives the Planck's constant. This is because the graph of a stopping potential versus frequency is the straight line with the slope being a universal constant according to the Einstein photoelectric equation. The slope has the value of h upon e, where h is the Planck's constant and e is the charge of electron. So the answer is ratio of Planck's constant and electric charge and the charge of an electron. Question number 30. In common base mode of transistor, the collector current is 5.488 mA and the emitter current is 5.60 mA. The value of the base current amplification factor beta is equal to, यसको आन्सर आएको छ 49. कसरी आयो भन्दाखेरि given IC collector current is equal to 5.488 mA, IE emitter current is equal to 5.60 mA, thus base current is equal to IE minus IC which is equal to 0.122 mA. Base current amplification beta is equal to IC upon IB, that is 5.488 upon 0.112. So the answer is 49. यदि तपाईहरुले च्यानललाई सब्स्क्राइब गर्नु भएको छैन भने सब्स्क्राइब गर्न नबिर्सनु होला. भिडियो यहीसम्म मन पर्यो भने लाइक गर्न नबिर्सनु होला. साथसाथै यो भिडियोलाई शेयर गर्न पनि नबिर्सनु होला. र इन केस मोस्ट इम्पोर्टेन्ट तपाईहरुलाई यदि केही डाउट छ, फर्म फिलअप को लागि छ अथवा जे पनि छ हैन, तपाईहरुलाई केही पनि डाउट भइराछ भने हामीलाई हाम्रो WhatsApp अथवा टेलिग्राम लिंकमा जोइन भएर तपाईहरुले सोध्न सक्नुहुन्छ अथवा कमेन्ट मार्फत पनि सोध्न सक्नुहुन्छ. Refractive index does not depend on, इसका आंसर आएगा सर intensity. The refractive index of a material depends on several factors, but it does not depend upon intensity of the light passing through it. So the answer is intensity. Question number 32. Which of the following emission does not change atomic number? इसका आंसर आएगा lambda emission. कसरी हुन्छ भन्दाखेरि the emission that does not change the atomic number is gamma emission. Gamma emission is a type of radioactive decay in which nucleus emits gamma rays without changing its composition or atomic number. Gamma rays are high frequency photons and do not carry any charge or mass, so they do not affect the atomic number or mass number of the nucleus. Question number 33. The two nuclei having mass number in the ratio is given by 1:3. What is the ratio of their nuclear densities? So यसको आन्सर आएको छ 1:1. तपाईले स्क्रिन पौज गरेर हेर्न सक्नुहुन्छ. पहिला हामीले भोल्युम निकाल्ने, त्यसपछि डेन्सिटी निकाल्नुस् र तपाईको आन्सर आइदिन्छ. र रेशियो तपाईले निकाल्नु भयो भने तपाईको त्यसको आन्सर आउँछ तपाईलाई 1:1. Question number 34. What is the heat required to convert 1 gram water from 3.5 degrees Celsius to 4.5 degrees Celsius? So त्यसको आन्सर आएको छ 1 calorie. अब कसरी हुन्छ भन्दाखेरि heat required to change the temperature of a substance can be calculated using the formula Q is equal to mc delta T, where Q is equal to heat energy, m is the mass of substance, C is the specific heat capacity of the substance, delta T is the change in temperature. Mathematically solve गर्दै जाँदा तपाईले आन्सर आउँछ 1 calorie. Question number 35. A cell of EMF 6 volt has internal resistance of 0.5 kilo ohm. Find V a voltmeter who has the resistance of 2.5 kilo ohm. यसको आन्सर रहेको छ 5 volt. कसरी आयो भन्दाखेरि to find the voltage of the voltmeter we can use the equation epsilon is equal to VR plus VR, where is the electromotive force EMF of the cell, VR is the terminal voltage and VR small r is the voltage across the internal resistance. EMF is given 6 volt, internal resistance is 500 ohm, the resistance of the voltmeter is 2400 ohm. So we can rearrange the given equation VR is equal to epsilon minus VR. So mathematical to solve गर्दै जाँदा तपाईको आन्सर आउँछ 5 volt. Question number 36. The neutral temperature is theta n, temperature of inversion is theta I, and temperature of cold junction is theta naught. What is the relation between theta I and theta n? So यसको आन्सर रहेको छ twice of theta n is equal to theta naught plus theta I. कसरी आयो भन्दाखेरि गिवन इन्फर्मेसन को ग्राफ बनाउने हो भने टेम्परेचर भर्सेस थर्मो EMF भयो भने theta I minus theta n is equal to theta n minus theta, which is equal to twice of theta n is equal to theta I plus theta naught. So the answer is A number. Question number 37. With rise in temperature, Young's modulus of elasticity is decreases. Young's modulus shows rigidity of the material. When temperature increases, then material start to become soft. Therefore, elasticity decreases with rise in temperature. Question number 38. A small spherical ball with density equal to density of liquid is immersed in it. What is the drift velocity? यसको आन्सर रहेको छ 0. कसरी आयो भन्दाखेरि when a small spherical ball with the small density as the surrounding liquid is immersed in it, the buoyant force acting on the ball is equal to the weight of the liquid displaced by the ball. Archimedes principle. As a result, the net force of the ball is 0. So, and there is no force to cause the ball to move. Therefore, the drift velocity of the ball will be 0. So, the answer is 0. Question number 39. If 6 gram of oxygen at pressure P and temperature 400 Kelvin in a vessel is allowed to diffuse through a small hole and final pressure is P by 2 and temperature is 300 Kelvin, how much oxygen is leaked out? यसको आन्सर रहेको छ 2 gram. कसरी आयो भन्दाखेरि initial pressure P1 is equal to P and P2 is equal to P by 2. Initial temperature is equal to 400 Kelvin and 300 Kelvin. So mathematically we have PV is equal to nRT. V is the constant in the case of leaking. So since the volume is constant in the case of leaking, अब तपाईले mathematical solve गर्दै जाँदा त्यसको आन्सर आउँछ तपाईलाई 2 gram. Question number 40. When distance is double, illuminance is, यसको आन्सर रहेको छ 1/4 times. We have I is equal to 1/r square, where r is the distance. If the distance is double, illuminance is 1/4. Question number 41. Two substances having ratio of mass 3:2 and ratio of specific heat 1:4 are equally heated. Ratio of their rise in temperature is, यसको आन्सर रहेको छ 8:3. अब कसरी हुन्छ भन्दाखेरि m1 is equal to 3, s1 is equal to 1, m2 is equal to 2, s2 is equal to 4. For equally heated two substances, we know that q is equal to m1 s1 theta delta theta 1 is equal to m2 s2 delta theta 2. So theta 1 upon theta 2 is equal to 8/3. So the answer is, so the ratio is 8:3. Question number 42. Two waves having amplitude 3a and a are superimposed. Ratio of max to minimum intensity is, यसको आन्सर रहेको छ 4:1. कसरी आयो भन्दाखेरि maximum amplitude a1 plus a2 रहेको छ, minimum amplitude a1 minus a2 रहेको छ. Maximum intensity upon minimum intensity is equal to maximum amplitude upon minimum amplitude को whole square. So answer is 4. So the maximum intensity upon minimum intensity को रेशियो हुन्छ तपाईलाई 4:1. यदि तपाईहरुलाई केही डाउट छ भने हामीलाई कन्ट्याक्ट गर्न नबिर्सनु होला. हामीले आफ्नो WhatsApp र Telegram को लिंक राखेको छु डिस्क्रिप्सन बक्समा. Question number 43. Which of the following is correct for a stable equilibrium? यसको आन्सर रहेको छ C below meta center. For a stable equilibrium, the center of gravity CG of an object should be located below the meta center. This ensures that if the object is displaced from its equilibrium position, a restoring momentum or force will be generated, causing the object to return to its original position. The meta center is the point through which the buoyant force acts when the object is slightly tilted from its equilibrium position in a fluid. So the answer is CG below meta center. That is center of gravity below meta center. Question number 44. Suppose that galaxy B is twice as far from Earth as galaxy A. Hubble's law predicts that galaxy B will be moving away from the Earth with approximate, यसको आन्सर आएको छ 2 times the velocity of galaxy A. अब कसरी हुन्छ भन्दाखेरि according to Hubble's law, the velocity of a galaxy is directly proportional to its distance from Earth. Therefore, if galaxy B is twice as far from Earth galaxy A, then galaxy B will be moving away from Earth with approximately 2 times the velocity of galaxy A. Therefore, the answer is 2 times the velocity of the galaxy A. Question number 45. For same de Broglie wavelength, which among electron and proton have maximum kinetic energy? यसको आन्सर रहेको छ इलेक्ट्रोन. कसरी हुन्छ भन्दाखेरि when an electron and proton have the same de Broglie wavelength, the kinetic energy of the electron is greater than the kinetic energy of the proton. The de Broglie wavelength is inversely proportional to the momentum of the particles, and since the momentum of the electron and proton is the same, the electron being lighter than the proton has a higher velocity and hence higher kinetic energy. Therefore, the correct answer is electron. Question number 46. What is the saturation vapor pressure of water at 100 degrees Celsius? इसको आंसर आएगा 760 mm of Hg. At boiling point, saturation vapor pressure becomes equal to atmospheric pressure. Therefore, at 100 degrees Celsius for water, SVP is equal to 760 mm of Hg, that is ATM atomic pressure. Question number 47. To make p-type semiconductor, it is doped with trivalent. कसरी हुन्छ भन्दाखेरि to make p-type semiconductor, it is doped with trivalent, that is 3 valence electron impurities. These trivalent impurities create holes in the crystal lattice which can accept and carry positive charge holes, effectively increasing the number of positive charge carries in the semiconductor material. This result in p-type positive type conductivity. So the answer is trivalent. Question number 48. 1 electron volt is equal to, यसको आन्सर आएको छ 1.6 into 10 raised minus 19 joule. अब कसरी हुन्छ भन्दाखेरि if an electron volt, that is EV, is a unit of energy commonly used in the field of atomic and subatomic physics. It is defined as the amount of energy gained or lost by an electron when it moves through an electric potential difference of 1 volt. The conversion factor between electron volt and joule is approximately 1.6 into 10 raised minus 19 joule upon electron volt. This makes option A correct answer as it provides the accurate conversion between the electron volts and the joules. So the answer is A, that is 1.6 into 10 raised minus 19 joule. Question number 49. A circular loop of wire carrying current is hung freely from a thread. The plane of a loop which lies in the direction is, यसको आन्सर आएको छ east to west. कसरी हुन्छ भन्दाखेरि when a circular loop of wire carrying current is hung freely from a thread, its plane will align itself perpendicular to its Earth magnetic field. The Earth magnetic field lines run roughly from geographical south to geographical north. Therefore, the plane of the loop will lie in the east direction, that is option C. So the answer is east and west. Question number 50. In a stressed string, the ratio of consecutive frequencies of sound produced is, यसको आन्सर आएको छ 1:2:3. अब सायद यो क्वेशन तपाईले रिपिट देख्न सक्नुहुन्छ. In a stressed string under tension, the ratio of consecutive frequency of sound produced is typically the whole number, and it depends on the harmonic series. The harmonic series for a stressed string is given by first harmonic frequency f, second harmonic frequency 2f, third is 3f, fourth is 4f similarly. So the answer is 1:2:3. हस्त आजको लागि यतिकै. यदि तपाईलाई भिडियो मन पर्यो भने शेयर चाहिँ अभियसली गरिदिनु होला, लाइक चाहिँ गरिदिनु होला हैन, र च्यानललाई सब्स्क्राइब गर्न नबिर्सनु होला, किनभने एउटा पोजिटिभ भाइब आउँछ यहाँबाट र हामीले मोटिभेट गर्छ कि अझ भिडियो आउनु पर्यो भनेर. र यदि तपाईहरुलाई केही डाउट छ भने हाम्रो WhatsApp र Telegram लिंक राखिदिएको छु, तपाईले त्यसमा जोइन भएर मजाले सोध्न सक्नुहुन्छ, अथवा हामीले तपाईले कमेन्ट मार्फत पनि सोध्न सक्नुहुन्छ. हस्, थ्यांक यू.